Okay. Yay.
Did it.
Well, hi, I'm Leah Revellato, in case you didn't know that, even though you're on my Facebook page. And I'm here along with my friend and business partner, Dee Vicino of Allergy. How's everyone doing?
I hope everybody's doing well and aren't caught in this crazy weather system that we've been having in the West.
Yes, depending on where you are, you might be on fire, sadly. So we hope all those people are safe. You might have 90 degrees or snowing. Or here in Georgia, it's kind of a random fallish day if you consider fall 83 degrees or so. So,
Better than 100 degrees.
yeah, better than 100 degrees. We will certainly take it. Today we're going to talk about, we are kind of kicking off fall holiday season, which if you're like me, anything holiday is like, ugh, another thing, although I do love Thanksgiving. But Labor Day is behind us. So, put away your white pants if you're my mother. And it's time to kick off getting ready for all things fall and holiday-ish. I know I'm going to start talking about Teal Pumpkin Project and Halloween, and right after that it feels like we jump into Thanksgiving, and in our family we celebrate Christmas, there's Hanukkah, there's all kinds of things that can bring stress and anxiety and worry and hurry, and on top of COVID. And so how are we going to do everything? So Dee, why don't you jump off with your best tips?
How do we deal with everything? Let's start with the first one. Let's start with Halloween.
One at a time, baby steps.
For your little trick-or-treaters, I'm sure most of you have heard of the Teal Pumpkin Project, which originated in Eastern Tennessee, right, with the food allergy community of Eastern Tennessee.
It was a food allergy mom.
Yeah, so she started this huge awareness campaign so that her children could safely trick or treat. And basically what the Teal Pumpkin Project is you have a teal pumpkin outside of your house, and that's a signal to food allergy families that your house is safe and that you have non-food treats that you can give out. Some people, Leah, choose to give both candy and non-food treats, depending. I have a bowl of non-food treats and then a bowl of candy that we have in the house. And then if a group comes by, and I'll ask them, does anybody have a food allergy? And if they do, I typically just give the non-food treat so that the little one with food allergy doesn't feel singled out, that everybody's kind of getting the same thing. Yeah, but I think I don't have little ones in school anymore. But if I did have little ones in school, I think a great idea would be like to have the teachers do a little unit on the teal pumpkin and what that means. We could print flyers and pass those out to their school families so that they could have them. Give a teal pumpkin painting party at your house. And everybody could come over and paint their little teal pumpkin so that they have them to show support. I think those are just little fun ways to deal with an allergy-friendly Halloween. What do you think?
Yeah, we've done that in our neighborhood. We moved here. This will be our third Halloween here in this neighborhood. And so the first year we were here, we invited everyone. We just put on, the neighborhood Facebook page. It can be controversial. Come to our house, meet us, and we provided pumpkins, and I got a big gallon of paint because, this is a new neighborhood. So there's a lot of young families, and we actually met a couple of food allergy families, and it was messy out on our driveway. With COVID, it's a little harder to do that this year, but I think what we'll probably do is just drop off a little things. And there's new construction in our neighborhood, so we'll probably go to those newer areas and just sort of, do the little porch drop and drop off things like that. I don't know if we're going to have, I was talking to some of the other moms as I was sort of out running the other day about, are we even going to do trick-or-treating? One mom said she was thinking about dressing up like a princess and throwing candy to her subjects. I said, well, that's a good idea. So with COVID, it might be a little bit more challenging. Normally we suggest things like having parties at your house, and depending on the weather, sometimes here, like last year it was freezing. It was literally too cold to go trick-or-treating.
Year two, freezing.
It was way too cold. The year before that, it was in the 90s. So depending on the weather might be different ideas, but some other things we want to remind families is it's just like any other day. You still have to keep your EpiPens with you. You still have to read every label every time, which includes things that have been safe in the past, because around the holidays, they often change packaging, change ingredients for those special runs, especially if it's like a little special just for Halloween treat or something like that. So you really want to double check that kind of stuff. And then
Well, and now with COVID, the labeling requirements have,
flex.
they've gotten a little relaxed. So if there's a change, manufacturers aren't required to keep up with it quite as diligently as they did before, because there are just so many product changes and availability and different things coming in and out of their line. So as Leah said, checking ingredients is really important, but if something even feels a little bit wrong, call the manufacturer and find out if there's been an ingredient substitution, because you just really don't know right now.
Yeah, you really don't. And, call or just don't have it. Like if you
Yeah.
just that gut, one of the things I really like to talk about with my clients is trust your gut. We often feel into the pressure of like, oh, it's probably fine. I'm overreacting that. But we have that stress intuition for a reason. So pay attention to it. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. It's like a lot of other things in our lives. And as we start to kick off all this Halloween and, it doesn't have to be super magical. Like when I was a little kid, I remember going as a princess once, and I was asking my mother this, we saw them over this past weekend. I said, what did you do for that costume? Because I remember it was very sparkly and it was this big deal. And we lived in Connecticut. And I said, I remember I had to put a coat on, but I think it was some sort of cape. And she was hysterical. She's like, that was like your ballerina tutu that I literally masking taped to one of my pajamas. And that she like taped some other things to my coat. And I have this memory that it was like the fanciest thing in the world. So keep in mind, it does not, we don't have to look like the Disney Channel. In the 70s and 80s, there wasn't Pinterest, there wasn't social media. And so what I remember was this gorgeous gown that I wore through the streets of Connecticut. And what my mother remembers is throwing together some masking tape, whatever she had around the house. So keep that in mind as you're trying to put this together, that really the experience is what you're going for. The food doesn't matter. We'll talk more about things like having the switch witch and different ideas very specific for the day, but really focus on what you want to get out of the season, that we're all in and it's sort of enjoying it as, we're trying to manage COVID and holidays and virtual school and partially in person or hybrid or, whatever you're doing, it feels like it changes every day. So really don't put that stress on yourself. Really, really, really try and manage expectations and reality.
Kids have fun with a cardboard box.
Right.
It's all about their imagination. So going too insane when we're already so insane is difficult. Now I do know that FAIR has a map. Families can input their address if they're a safe house, an allergy friendly house. So before you go out, if you are an allergy friendly house, and I hope you are since you're turning it,
yeah.
you can add yourself to that map. And you can also check that map out to see where the safe areas are in your neighborhood and your area if you do plan to trick or treat this year.
Yeah, they do. I think they launched it already. I'll have to double check, but every year they have that great Teal pumpkin map.
They did, yeah. It was actually on the website yesterday.
Oh, great. Yeah. So you can Google, if you don't have it bookmarked, you can just Google Teal Pumpkin Project. I'm sure it will pop right up.
It pops right up. Yeah. And you can add yourself to that list. But wow, yeah, so many holidays, Leah. I just can't believe we're already through with the first week of September and moving into the second week of September. And
yes.
And everything just rolls so quickly after that.
Yes, it seems like summer ends and here we go. So as we kind of wrap up here for this week's Quick Thursday, don't forget to DM us any questions or things that come into your mind that you want us to cover. These are going to be quick every week, 10, 15 minutes topics. As we kick off the fall, we're going to soon be opening a second round of our Allergy course, whatever it's called. So if you are interested or you know anyone who's interested, just quick, shoot us a quick DM or message us on any of our different platforms. We're excited to be kicking that off soon. Dee Dee, do you have any other tips that maybe you can give our families, from your kids' years of Halloween?
We did a lot of parties when my kids were little. So we had Halloween parties at other people's homes. They had school parties. It just seemed like a season of parties, and we don't really have that this year. If you are going to a small gathering, which is, sanctioned in your state, and you can have a gathering of 10 or more, 20 or whatever, just, again, it's that talking to the parents, right? Making sure that your hosts understand your child's food allergy. That was what we always did. And sometimes they didn't believe that my daughter had a dairy allergy, and they would give her ice cream and she would end up throwing up in the garbage can. And none of the children were fazed because they'd seen it so many times. They're like, oh, that's just Shelby. She's allergic to milk.
Tell me.
Fortunately, it wasn't an anaphylactic reaction, so we didn't have to carry EpiPens. But yeah, making sure that you're just, as you said, always prepared. You've got the EpiPens, you've got your emergency medical kit, and you're communicating with everybody who's going to be around your child at any kind of festivity. It's just a weird year this year. I don't know if there will be festivities.
Yeah, I guess to be determined. So
We'll
everyone,
find out. Let us know if you're having a festivity and how you plan to handle that.
yeah, let us know what you're doing, what your thoughts are, and we look forward to hearing from you. Have a great weekend, everyone.
We'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.